be involved. Let's get to a couple of quick calls before we get a break away. In fact, we'll get one more call in before a break. Aaron's in Broadmeadows. We'll stay on the topic of David Warner. Thanks, Aaron. And well done to Raj, who's working the phones, doing a great job too. Aaron, good afternoon.
Yeah, I've just looked it up on Wikipedia, and since 1990, there's been 18 instances of ball tampering. Some of them include Michael Atherton, Waqar Younis, Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid, James and Stuart Broad. I could go on, Afridi. None of them received any match suspensions. A good example would be Michael Atherton. He filled his pocket with dirt and was rubbing the ball on that. He received a fine. No suspension, no loss of captaincy. I think what's happened here is a few people in the media who know nothing about cricket, know nothing about the history of ball tampering, think that what happened there was really unique. And they made a great big fuss, and they put a heap of pressure on Cricket Australia to suspend and take away captaincies from players. And Cricket Australia's panicked and given these over-the-top penalties. I think this is the most over-the-top penalty in the history of sport.
This is Cricket Australia. For me, this is Cricket Australia. The punishment for these three gentlemen, in my opinion, is Cricket Australia trying to save face on a world scale, saying, we will take the action because it was a really bad look. My view is, if they'd handed the ball to Cam Bancroft and he'd wiped zinc off his nose on the ball, they would have gone, you can't be doing that. That's it. And they would have dubbed that as ball tampering as well. The fact is that he got a piece of sandpaper out of his pocket, shined the ball and stuck it back down his undies. That is the look. They were the pictures. That became the story. And that's why this will never go away, because the visual. Now, someone has texted in, and I appreciate your call, Aaron. You make some valid points. On the 40 Winks text line, it said, I saw a video of the recent England-Pakistan game where Joe Root was shining a ball on a spin bowler's bald head. Now, sunscreen being all over the guy's head, you can't tell me these guys weren't trying. So there's all of this stuff that's going to keep regurgitating. And we are having this conversation again about ball tampering, where we have the conversation about Dave Warner saying, I've done my time. I've told you what I know. I've been punished. Why do I have to do this again? And you have to ask yourself, why is Steve Smith, who has also been punished, allowed to lead the Australian cricket team today, yet Dave Warner is now being asked to go in front of a review panel? And Cameron Bancroft, regardless of his wonderful form, and he's in sensational form, hard-pressed to see him ever playing for Australia again. Not because of runs, but because of Sandpaper Gate. I've got to get a break. More calls, more texts, a lot to get through. Thank you.
There's the booing, but the worst thing was when we got on the bus at the end of each day's play. Just the abuse. By the end of it, they decide to laugh in the face of it. And that takes immense courage.
Oh, I wish they could see him.
Again, that was just all part of trying to embrace it. We just went with it. People were everywhere on the street. That's just how Edgbaston was. It was a really aggressive place.
They're all grown men. Oh no, they're such children.
I think everyone handled it pretty well. And it seemed like that the whole way home there was just people just hurling abuse at the bus. It was actually brilliant, some of the things we were looking at off the bus. It was good to get some comedy like that on the bus.
But these blokes still going. Look at that. He's still going. Look at him. Starting to fire.